I once believed a perfect marriage could withstand anything, but I learned it can shatter without warning. Leah and I had known each other since childhood, neighbors who grew up side by side, attended nearby schools, and eventually transformed our friendship into love. She was my first real love, and I was hers. She stood by me during my years in service, and after I returned, we both attended university before marrying. We paid for our wedding ourselves, determined to build our future, without leaning on anyone else. We agreed to wait until our 30s before starting a family, preferring to enjoy our time together before taking on the responsibilities of parenting. Over the years, we saved for a home, but when our loan was initially rejected, we placed the property under my father's name until we could pay it off and transfer it into ours. That day, I felt truly fortunate. As our careers progressed, we didn't rush to clear the mortgage. We bought one car, then another, but to avoid potential income complications, we registered them in my parents' names. Doing this with Leah's family wasn't possible. Her parents had tragically died in a car accident, swerving on an icy road into oncoming traffic. I loved them dearly, and their loss hit us both hard. Leah took a long time to recover from the grief, but eventually, we found our rhythm again. Our relationship was peaceful. We never had explosive fights or pointless arguments, just calm, respectful discussions when disagreements arose. Sometimes I even joked that our life was so steady it was almost predictable. Then, without warning, everything changed. One ordinary afternoon, we went grocery shopping, something Leah usually managed effortlessly. She would push the cart, and I'd help unload at home. But this time, as I wrestled with the heavy bags, she suddenly erupted. "These bags are ridiculous. I could have hurt my back," she shouted, tears brimming in her eyes. I tried to soothe her, but she recoiled. "If you just called me, I could have handled it for once," she snapped before abruptly grabbing her coat. "Where are you going?" I asked, confused. "I'm exhausted. I'm staying at Celeste for a while," she replied sharply, muttering under her breath as she walked out. Her sudden departure left me stunned. Could something so small really push her away? I suspected there was more to it, but I chose not to press her, believing she would open up in her own time. A month passed in silence. I called and texted, but she didn't answer. After 3 weeks, I stopped trying. 2 more weeks went by before Celeste, her closest friend, showed up at my door. She'd apparently been hosting Leah the entire time. I'd never liked Celeste much, and seeing her there irritated me further. "Did Leah send you?" I asked. "No," she smirked. "I came on my own." She made herself comfortable on my sofa, crossing her legs with a deliberately suggestive air. When I asked her to just tell me what was going on, she leaned in and kissed me, her hand moving where it had no business being. I recoiled instantly, shouting for her to leave. "You're a fool," she sneered. "I was trying to save your marriage." Then she smirked and continued. After her parents died, Leah wanted to shake things up. She joined a dating site and went on a date that went further than she planned. She's ashamed and doesn't know how to face you. But if you cheated too, maybe you could start over. She actually winked, as if her idea was clever. I stood and told her to leave and to tell Leah to stay away from my home. "It's her home too," Celeste shot back. "It's my father's apartment," I said coldly. "And the car she's using for her dates? That's mine too. Leave the keys in the mailbox and get out." I ushered her to the door and slammed it behind her. Oddly, I felt more numb than hurt, perhaps because I had suspected for weeks that Leah had betrayed me. Now I had confirmation, and strangely, that made it easier to let go. The divorce was quick. There were no shared assets to fight over. Leah tried calling me repeatedly, but I refused to answer. When she wouldn't return the car, I threatened legal action until she finally threw the keys at me, accompanied by a few bitter insults. That was the last time we spoke. I never imagined our marriage would end this way, but that's how it unfolded. And in the quiet that followed, I realized that sometimes the cracks are there long before you see them. You just don't want to look.